Hey Canucks fans, welcome to Clay's Canucks commentary for Sunday, October the 28th. I'm Clay Emo at Canuck Clay on Twitter. I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram. I'm a founding member of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club. And this is my Canucks take, all in one take. I was at the game last night, watching in person the Vancouver Canucks get outworked, outskilled, outmatched by the Pittsburgh Penguins 5-0. And Pittsburgh continued their dominance of Canada, Toronto, Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver in a very dominating win. And as part of the loss, holding up my end of a bargain, a friendly wager I made with my friend Justin on Twitter, and I was going to do this anyways, even if the Canucks had won, but I invite you to go follow Justin, subscribe to his channel here on YouTube. He's Yinzer on hockey. And just this morning I learned out that Yins means use in Pittsburgh, or Pittsburgh language. I don't know, I guess I should get out more. But yeah, subscribe to Yinzer on hockey. Not only Pittsburgh Penguin centric, but he also does a lot of cool videos about different creative topics of the NHL and other hockey teams. So make sure you subscribe to Yinzer on hockey. Congrats Justin on the win last night. Also want to give two other quick shout outs. One of them is Hockey Hangout, also here on YouTube. He's a young guy doing some really cool stuff, trying to build his channel. His name is Jacob and he's out of Newfoundland, so give him a sub. And also Canucks to You, a guy named Jeff who I've been interacting with a lot on Twitter. Had the pleasure of meeting him last night at the game in person, so subscribe to his channel as well, Canucks to You. So once again, that's Yinzer on hockey, Hockey Hangout, and Canucks to You. 3 new channels for you to enjoy the content on. Didn't enjoy a lot about last night's game. Actually, the scores probably inflated a little bit. The Canucks were in it. Obviously, it was 0-0 at the end of 1. It was only 2-0 at the end of 2, and you still didn't, although it was going to be tough, you didn't think the Canucks were completely out of it. But then Antoine Roussel got that phantom 4-minute high sticking penalty right at the start of the third period. It wasn't even his stick. Basically squashing any momentum the Canucks hoped to build coming into the third. And there's already, right, almost a quarter of the entire period gone already. And then Malkin scores those 2 quick goals within a minute and a half of each other. And then Crosby finishes off. And this final score is 5-0. Talk about Pittsburgh a bit. Talk about Vancouver a bit. And then we'll talk about what's going on with the team going forward. And then an announcement about my next post-game live stream. So Pittsburgh, you saw their skill, their elite skill in person. I mean, you witnessed it. And the one thing I noticed from being at the game, and you know, it's cool to watch the game on TV or to read the stat lines or to listen to other commentators, but when you're at the game, this might sound a little snobby, but I'm very blessed, as you know. I feel very grateful that I'm a season ticket holder. I don't go to all the games, but I went last night. But one thing you really notice when you're there live, with the skill set of the Pittsburgh Penguins, is how patient they were. There were many of the Pittsburgh goals. I'd say 3 of the 5 of them weren't off a rush. Rather, they were controlling play in the Canuck zone, keep hemming the Canuck defenders and forwards in, and you just saw how patient they were. And they, as opposed to the Canucks, and I made this point last night, where oftentimes Canucks will just throw a puck at the net and hope for a greasy rebound or deflection, which is fine. But Pittsburgh is not afraid to cycle, not afraid to circle the net, not afraid to take the puck behind the net, in the corners, out of the corners, whatever it may be. And they're always looking for an open man. They're always looking to make the extra pass, not too fancy, like it's not like Harlem Globetrotters crazy, but they're always looking to make that extra pass or to get to the net. And to not just fire it at the net, but fire it close to the net. And that's how one of Malkin's goals was scored. That's how one of Crosby's goals were scored, basically on Markstrom's left side, right at the doorstep, right at the crease. But they're bang plays. You know, Phil Kessel's first goal was off a rebound where Troy Stecher lost him behind the net, again from the side of the net. And then you have, of course, Malkin's on the 3-on-2, or 3-on-2, or basically 3-on-1, where Brendan Lysett was really slow getting back, and then Crosby's really nice 3-on-2 goal. So that's the one thing you notice is Pittsburgh's elite skill, especially in the offensive end, how they are very patient and very creative. The other thing I really notice is, and this happens all the time, but it was really magnified last night with, I guess, Chris Tanev and Alex Edler out, and Sven Baertschi and Jay Beagle to a lesser extent. So that's 4 main guys, right? 4 main roster players still that were hurt and not playing. Is you really notice Pittsburgh really makes you pay for your mistakes. And I'd say all 5 of those goals, there's some element of mistake. And you can usually say that for almost every NHL goal, right? Not all, but most of them. Is that very rarely it's just the offensive player doing something good and with no effect from the defense. A lot of times it's a turnover or bad defensive play or bad luck, right? Or maybe a combination of 3. And you can say that about every goal last night. Think of the first goal, Troy Stecher lost Phil Kessel behind the net, right? Rebound off Markstrom's pad, boom, nice tap in for Kessel, easy one. The second goal, Crosby's first goal, was a 3-on-2, and I looked at it. It was actually Delzato made a clearing play out of the zone off the boards to Virtanen. Virtanen lost it in his skates, went to a change, make a change, and the Pittsburgh defenseman put it through the neutral zone, past Sutter and Schaller, right on the stick of someone else, and then got it to Crosby because they were in an odd man rush. So that was the second goal. The third goal, Malkin's first goal, you saw him basically, Eriksson had a chance to clear the puck from the zone, and he passed it off a Sutter's skate, right? Then it bounces back, stays in the Vancouver zone, a bunch of passes, a nice save by Markstrom, but then someone left Malkin wide open on the side, and I believe that was Louis Eriksson actually that should have covered that side. Or it was either him, the left wing, or it was the left side defenseman, but a combination of both. The fourth goal, Malkin's second goal of the night, Brendan Lysick was very slow coming back, not back checking, so it made it for an easy 3-on-1 or 3-on-2. Doesn't matter. I think it was 3-on-2, but Malkin's not going to miss like that. And the fifth goal, a bit of scramble once again. That was one where Crosby was left wide open on the side, and that one you could see Eric Branson kind of looking at him out of the corner of his eye, but not making a strong enough play to cut off that pass or to take the man. So all elements had some, deficiency, either Canucks forwards or Canucks D-men, and Pittsburgh is so good, they make you pay. And I made the point last night on Twitter. I said, between Crosby, Malkin, and Phil Kessel, their big three, they combined for 7 points. I said, hopefully, one day that's Pettersson, Besser, and Horvat, but they're simply not there yet. So, speaking of Besser and speaking of Pettersson, we saw them both come back in the lineup yesterday, which was very exciting. It led to some excitement for the Canucks fans, especially Pettersson. And here's another thing about being there live. Again, you can pick this up from TV or you can read other people talk about it, but when you're there live, you really appreciate just how skilled Pettersson is. And remember, this is a guy coming off a major concussion, everything concussion is major, but he was out for 2 weeks, and he showed no fear. He showed no hesitation. He mucked it up in the corners. He was making nifty plays along sideboards. Always, there's potential of him getting crunched, but he's very slippery, right? He's very elusive. And you saw his offensive skill every time he touched the puck, especially in the first period. The very first play that he had, it's starting to rain like crazy. The very first play that he did, you saw he intercepted a pass, knocked it out of the air with his backhand, on his backhand with his stick, put it down, went for a breakaway, got tripped by the goal. He could be a penalty shot, but it wasn't. But you saw his skill there. You saw his skill, his hard wrist shot when he ripped it over the net just by this much, almost broke the glass. I saw everyone in section 112 ducking for cover. And you also saw it when I think it was Delzato fed him at the front of the net. He was a little bit tight, but he made enough moves where he actually tried to make a back pass, recognizing that DeSmith had put a stick out to negate any cross ice thing. So Pettersson had the wherewithal to try and deke him, realized he was in too close, couldn't get over his pads, so he tried to back pass to the slot where there were no Canucks waiting. So in the first period, we saw 3 or 4 instances of Pettersson's skill already. And so I'm not exaggerating. When you're there, when you're watching him, there's always anticipation. There's always a buzz. Kind of like Besser last year. Besser still isn't 100%, I think we'd all agree. So maybe Besser doesn't show the same excitement or the same potential or the same anticipation when he gets the puck, but it's certainly there with Pettersson right now, and it was a joy to see. It's too bad I'm not going to a Canucks game for a month or so, but that's okay. So a couple of things. The big news coming out today was that Anders Nilsson is now hurt. Fractured finger, could be out for a few weeks. So they've called up Richmond. I live in Richmond. They haven't called out Richmond. They've called up Richard Bachman from Utica. I'm not sure what that means for Utica's goaltending, given that Demko's out, but we'll figure that out later. But so it's going to be Jacob Markstrom with Richard Bachman backing him up. And Bachman has played in spot duty over the past few seasons. He's played well. He's well enough for a backup, a third-string goalie, basically. So as long as there aren't any back-to-backs, look to see Markstrom carry, the lion's share of the work going forward. So that was the biggest news today. Is Anders Nilsson hurt? Richard Bachman is up from Utica. I keep saying Richmond. I got a problem here. We learned that Chris Tanev is still day-to-day. Alex Edler will be out 3 to 6 weeks with a knee injury, and we know that he had a knee injury to start off last season as well. So that's kind of concerning. I'm not sure if it's the same knee. I didn't follow up on that. And with Chris Tanev and Edler out, those are your top 2 D-men. And obviously guys like Pouliot, who struggled a lot over the past few games, Stetcher, Hutton, who haven't struggled as well, Delzato, Biega, Goodbranson, all those guys are being pushed to play more minutes than usual, and in some cases pushed to play at all. Biega would be in a healthy scratch, and Delzato had been a healthy scratch for almost 3 weeks or 2 weeks leading into the game a couple games ago. So there's a lot going on with the Canucks. They play Minnesota tomorrow night. I will not be going in that game. I sold those tickets to a buddy of mine, so I will not be at the game. But after the game, I will be doing my next post-game live stream, getting a lot of great feedback to those. And I have a very busy week with work coming up. And the busyness starts on Tuesday, actually. So I'm going to take advantage of Monday night, having a more chill night. Even though I'm not going to the game, I'll be watching it. And I'll pop onto YouTube here for a live stream. And I will promise that Jacob, my son, he got a lot of good feedback. In fact, I think a lot of you like to watch Jacob and interact with Jacob more than you interact with me. But that's okay. I'm not too proud. I can handle it. I'm a big boy. So I will bring Jacob for a select 3 to 5 minutes in. I won't say when. You'll just have to watch the live stream. I'll just tell him to come down between 9:30 and 10:15. And at his will, he will come down and answer your questions, Canucks related. Well, I'd say let's play Stump Jake, but that'll be pretty easy. You just got to ask him any basic question, although he did perform well in our last live stream. So that's it for today. Canucks fans, there's a lot there on a non-game day, but I love your feedback below. As always, leave a comment, and I'll do my best to read, reply, and react. What did you think of last night's game? What did you think of Pettersson's return? How about Boeser's return after a very short game, a short absence? Are you worried about this Nilsson injury? Do you think Bachman will get into it? And what do you think is going to happen in the Minnesota game? I'll check with you on Monday morning with a quick preview of the Vancouver Minnesota Wild game, and a reminder once again that I will be live streaming on YouTube after the game tomorrow night. Subscribe if you'd like to, like if you'd like to, follow the three guys, Yinzer on Hockey, Hockey Hangout, and Canucks to You, and have a great day. God bless, and go Canucks go.